Respect, unconditional love, married upon self, married upon self. Um, came into, I was doing some slight meditation yesterday, and I don't know, I was drifting a lot. I'm all over the place. Look at me, my visual look crazy. Right. All right. This is good enough. Where does this ultimately lead to? All the things that we are accumulating at one time, all the different angles that they're coming into from different aspects, all the different types of ways that awakening is happening, the different temperaments that are coming with um, how and what and whoa and like whoa, all that crazy shit that's going on to make people, question, question, question. Where is this ultimately going to, right? All right. Now, there's something I used to say back in the day. The way the cosmos started things out, it didn't continue that way. Babies are born in water and they come out into the free world. Their whole vision is completely different. That makeup of even creating life is different than original. It was almost like experience it as much as you can so that you can not want to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask yourself this on a small level. How many things that you did as a kid that you are aware of, but you have no particular, and it's a lot of things that are that still stand, they still stay. You know what I'm saying, as you get older, but there is no particular connection to the certain things like how you used to think as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean that's it's not rocket science. Everybody knows this, right? But that's exactly how the whole outcome is taking place. Like you have particulars to how you deal with everything in life. Like as you get older, like remember when you was a kid, people say what you could and couldn't do, and then you say when I get older, I'm going to do this. Even in a young mentality, you might have been like a young man, a teenager, and you might have had an indulgement for a certain type of food. As soon as you got older, you said I can live off these. Knowing that you really can't live off that shit, you know what I'm saying? But you ultimately felt like you could live off that, you know what I'm saying, in your mind. Like that was just something in that mindset that you would learn later that that wasn't a probability, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to experiences, it's like we are within ourselves experiencing the control aspect of what needs to be propagated to actually have a system. Moreover than that, we're in a situation to where you are supposed to be not just experiencing the propagation of the false reality, but separating yourself from the fact that the experience is not as detriment as you believe it to be. Most experiences that we go through in life, we don't want the confrontation, depending on the severity of the situation. People people go through it with something that they want to create and call courage, when in fact you're in life. Just to be here, it takes a lot of courage. To be born in this situation, it took a lot of courage. To walk away from knowing or being a part of all knowing just to experience not knowing, it took a lot of courage. So ultimately, when we start to walk towards energies that have this placement for us, and we're like, yo, these things are different, I'm doing this and I'm seeing this, you're waking up to originality synapses that already exist within the physical, past the physical into the spiritual or cosmetic. And these things are resonant. I mean, that's just what it is for that. Just like a fish has fins and it swims, that's resonant for the energy that it lives in. So if we never was able to use the particulars of what we were supposed to have to be or grow towards the greatest conscious awareness, then ultimately it seems the equation says to learn that these things are amenities to your conscious awareness. Just like you have arms and legs that are attached to the body, arm, leg, or arm, head. They're attached to the body to allow the body to have access to moving and taking everything. You know what I'm saying? These are extremities. What are the extremities to the conscious reality? Now you start to go into these aspects of psychedelics and tapping into adrenaline rushes through meditation. And what they start showing you is the aspects of the conscious awareness. Well, those those are things that have to do with egoric way of thinking. You have to understand just to be in this placement. It's like saying, why would a bird have to say, "Hey, I got feathers"? You know what I'm saying? It's a bird. It comes with it. The only time you question something is when it's absent. Like if you went to McDonald's and you got a Happy Meal and it didn't have the toy in it, you'd be like, "Why isn't it there?" Now, in our reality, we have amenities that are natural to our conscious way of thinking. Now, unbeknownst to everybody else, they're not normal. You see what I'm saying? So when these things were removed from the spiritual aspect, thus so you can have a physical reality, everything that took just for you to have life became a characteristic trait that you might be seeking or putting term on self to say that these things are. And none of that is reality. Like there is not a such thing as um there's not such thing as is what you want to put on as far as consequential terms to the the conscious understanding. The physical does that. The physical needs the physical needs love. The physical needs raw. The physical needs I'm the best. The physical needs better. The physical needs more. Like the physical needs everything that has to do with ego because those things are based on feeling. Consciousness is not consciousness. You can have it in the physical based on feeling. That's two different things. Like you can communicate with consciousness based on feeling. This is the reason why you need to put down the feeling of physical attributes so that you can have a higher consciousness awareness because it's going to access you through the feeling. No. Yeah, no. Guard of the body is still propaganda. Like what do you have to guard from? Um Conscious awareness and awareness of self won't even have you dealing with certain situations when you're aware of self. It's almost I've meditated to a point where I used to be at the forefront of negativity. Like I used to be in the streets with everybody else. One of those guys that said, "Hey, I did all this. I'm that." You know what I'm saying? I'm street. I was one of those dudes at one point. But then I realized I was putting myself in those situations to have to reverberate that energy. Also, that within meditation and stillness, and you pushing out unconditional love or usurping unconditional love into self and removing negative energy, the vibration of energy that you push off from yourself, that wave, it travels through existence. And you have to know that to be real. My belief in that is real. So then things that I would particularly be doing became null and void. People that I was dealing with in these aspects stopped being around in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even like I had to look for them. They just were gone. So even problems of the different natures that would oppose itself just stopped being around. Now that didn't mean I didn't have to stop dealing with problems in a whole, You see what I'm saying? I still dealt with problems, but I just didn't deal with those type of problems that had to do with not knowing that conscious awareness. You see what I'm saying? Like as I rose, the problems changed, but they got lighter. You see what I'm saying? So the ego is only based on fear of something that may be lost or could be interrupted for the circumstance. You have to understand that yourself can rise above any physical attribute that's holding you circumstantial to the situation. Now, ultimately, I was saying somebody typing. Hold on. Exactly. Exactly. You have to understand. It's almost like saying, like let's use the Bible for example. I'm gonna use the Bible because everybody like to run to the Bible. Now they said Adam blamed Eve and Eve blamed the serpent. So God put the serpent over man and man over the woman. It wasn't about the circumstance that was happening. It was about who was pointing blame. So if I keep telling you, oh, these white people over here are doing this to me, why they won't stop, and then you coming to them to help them to get them to stop the oppression, doesn't that by default say that they're over you and they control you? Or like if you got somebody you dealing with at work and they're bothering you, by default you going to get them removed says they're over you. See, this is what consciousness awareness is. It's not about showing that you're bad. It's not showing or being the one in defense. It's about knowing that the energies that they're putting out is not strong enough to break through. And if you take it to the smallest level, back in the day, your grandma, your mom, or somebody in your life might have said, you can't argue by yourself. They say shit like that, like they can't argue by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes two to tangle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's power in itself. Now you may say, yeah, but then this motherfucker ain't getting away with disrespecting me. What's disrespect? Contrast is the level of understanding anything. So if you know disrespect, that's because you are privy to knowing what righteousness is. So how could you allow something that has the indifference to hurt you when you know the attribute? So if he's throwing that out or she's throwing that out, that's ultimately telling you they have not mastered the understanding of the contrast of that. How does that affect you? When you know this is what I mean by knowledge is power. Like I can sit down and I can debate with somebody about something we both don't have an understanding on. And then the only reason why we debating is because we both don't have clear contrast on the situation. But if I have a clarity on the right and the wrong of the situation, it's not a debate. It's you coming to that understanding. That's the difference in having a conversation with somebody who don't know shit and somebody who has the differences in between too. So if you're paying attention to your life, you can see the contrast in between the things you deal with on a daily basis. This is why I said in the last joint, life and learning is about contrast. It's not about what they did to you or what somebody else did to you. It's about how much you can see the indifferences that you deal with and know both sides. If I can know that this ashtray is dirty and this one is clean, that's not rocket science. I can make both of them clean by understanding the pretense. So that's how it works. How much of the pretenses are you dealing with? Do you understand that you can actually usurp that energy, not by differentiate, but by showing the equality? It's contrast. Most people are arguing because they miss the contrast to the shit. You see what I'm saying? An ugly bitch and a pretty bitch. She like, bitch, you ugly. How can you even say that? If, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to feel some type of way in contrast to something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you start understanding that, you're like, damn, every argument is only a retrospective equality. And if it's equal, what are we arguing about? See, and that right there, you'll have that conversation with somebody and you'll never meet heads because those two terms are not a normal way of thinking about things. Having equality on a situation of contrast. Nobody think like that. You too busy trying to prove your point, which is ego. Right. Harmonizing each situation. Harmonize in itself is the word harmony is the motion of things that work what's the word I'm looking for? That work very well together. I'll use simple words. They work very well together. They roll together. They flow together. That's rhythm. Anything that has a flow together is rhythm. The universe has a harmony about it. You know what I'm saying? The Kundalini energy has a harmony about it. Meditation has a harmony about it. Everything that's cosmos has a harmony about it. Understanding the terminology behind it has nothing but a way to satisfy the physical. This is why I keep going to separate from putting a term on something. This is why, all right, if you ever seen I like using this analogy right here. Respect T. I like using this analogy right here. If you ever seen Avatar, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the last Airbender and shit. And there was this one episode in the in the Korra joints when the dude that broke out of jail and he was trying to master all elements and he was standing on the edge of the cliff. And at this time, they had him in prison on a mountain. So the whole time, he's an airbender, but he can't fly. So he's like, become air. He tell himself, become air. He's not talking to nobody else. He's meditating in himself. I am air. Become air. I'm not flesh. I'm air. He falls off of the cliff and says, I feel the air coming through me. Now, when he says this, he feels that he is air and starts to fly. Now, that doesn't separate the physical attribute of the reality. It separated the consciousness belief of what he was. You see what I'm saying? Consciousness is the power of what we are. So consciously, if you believe the physical attribute of that you're standing, moreover than anything else has an attribute to, then that is your reality. See, the Most High can become anything. Melanin can be in three places at one time. That shows you everything trying to carbon copy that. Look at ice trying to be like melanin. But see, the thing about melanin, it can be in three places at one time in three different shapes. You see what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to any other physical thing, they can change with probability. That means I can reach three probabilities, but I can't be three probabilities. That shows you the level of consciousness. That's why I tell you the number three has a life of its own. 369. So if I can be three, I can be six, and I can be nine. I can also be seven. You see what I'm saying? I can be eight. I can do any of those probabilities. You know what I'm saying? Melanin is powerful. So you have to find out how, and see, this is why I talk about spectrum. Spectrum tells you the level of condensation of your reality, thus where you live at on this plane of existence. So if I'm not a blue, black, dark brother, knowing that they probably live where it's a lot of radiation and they're apt to that, I'm pretty sure that they pull in a lot of frequencies from that tone. Now, I can go there, but being as efficient as them, it ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's not a such thing as racism, but there are races. And color is supposed to be talked about. Because there is levels to the shit. Why would I want to put you in something that I know you couldn't purposely handle? They're saying, oh, that's hard work. No, that's stupidity. Because you fuck with the conscious reality of shit. You see what I'm saying? Thus, the physical need to have first, second, and third now. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you was just left in your reality of your spectrum, you would not know my spectrum or that spectrum or others. It would be your spectrum, and we would work conducively to the fact of how the spectrum comes down from the cosmos. But hey, let's move all this shit around and control different shit. Let's put y'all over here. Let's put this over here. And let's say this is the indifference why shit don't work right. Nah, the reality to it, I have my own fucking spectrum. And you don't think like me. I like fucking dark fucking, me personally, I like dark cedar. I like cinnamon. I like shit like that. I like shit that is particular to my spectrum. Now, the more I learn in that, even different incense, I'm attracted to shit like that. I'm attracted to earth tone colors. You see what I'm saying? Like that more than anything else. You see what I'm saying? Like we have to start being aware of our true reality opposed to what somebody's making you have. Yeah, a billboard and a picture and a TV and an ass and something over here in a car and lights and all that shit is wonderful. But that's just distraction. If you are privy to be more overtaken by that, that shows how much lack of self-control you have and self-discipline. And self-discipline expresses unconditional love for self. That's where self-discipline comes from. And I'm not talking about what somebody tell you to do that's better for you. What you found out that fits perfectly for the doctrine of you. I can't even tell you what to do because I don't know your fucking spectrum. I can come be in your world and you can particularly share your spectrum with me. Things that Might not be of my world, but I can get a learning lesson from what you understand about self. This is why we have a issue as far as human beings and walking around with a full cup of knowledge. You won't pour shit out just to see. Now, if I'm not even supposed to have no knowledge from none of these other spectrums yet, particular to me understanding my shit, how am I going to converse with anybody else yet? This is the confusion that the world deals with. Yeah, the road runner don't believe in gravity, so he can run off a cliff, but the coyote can't use, can't cause. He believes what you can't pull from the sun, you get from what does it pull from the sun. Hey, that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I was building on another joint. You know what I'm saying before, and I was like, and I didn't even go deep in it. I was talking about the black hole in the sun. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I didn't want to tap on it because the universe was telling me some hot shit about that. Like, yo, they don't understand. This is why they getting this work right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you have the black sun, and the black sun is not meant for you to see. It's like the trash truck. You know what I'm saying? It's like the trash truck. You ain't supposed to see it. But everybody gonna put all this knowledge on it because of how powerful it is. You know what I'm saying? The black sun is a beautiful thing. It pulls in everything. Everything. All thoughts, all dirt, all negativity, everything. It pulls it all in and it gives it out through the sun. That's how that shit works. Now, if you know how fire and coal works, you think about the intensity. And the heaviness of each energy that it pulls has a depth of more burn, which gives off a higher intensity. Now, back in the day, we were producing a lot of children. There was a lot of love going on. So that sun was producing what? A lot of life giving energy. A lot of it. These days, what's going on? You have to look at it for what it is. People say, oh, it's the end of time stuff. No, motherfucker, you put too much fire in that shit. You throwing too much logs up in there. You got too much kerosene on the motherfucker. People don't want to. Nobody wants to take responsibility. You think you could just go out every day and just do shit, and hey, it doesn't happen. The Most High says, even in religions, it says you can die you can die 1,000 deaths. You know how? Because every time you create a situation, that baby can die. That is yours. You see what I'm saying? And it can die without having righteousness behind that shit. You see what I'm saying? And righteousness is not biblical. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sun charge. You already. You know what I'm saying? It changes in that usurp of energy. See, righteousness is not biblical. People want to hold you to a terminology. Being free, being free is not absolutely wild, but you will be wild determined to the situation. Like if I have an unconditional ratio for you, how would I not respect every level that the energy touches within you? So I would have to let that hit you and then see how that comes out at me to get even a response. But then unconditionally accepting that would just be experience. That's unconditional. Like you sitting there, you like, wow, you watching a movie. You're accepting whatever you're watching unconditionally. A person who talks in the movie has conditions. He's biased. That's why he's talking through the movie. He's telling you how he feels about the movie while it's going on instead of waiting until the end. You are accepting it unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? When you have nothing to say, you're saying, all right, I can deal with that. You have accepted it. That's unconditional. How much acceptance are we dealing with in a day? How many things, like even with your relationship, you might have a woman that you tell every day you love. You a lying motherfucker, because two minutes from there, you're gonna say, yo, why you doing this? What you doing? Oh, why you can't be that way in a relationship if you say you not unconditionally. I was in a situation and I never tell a chick I love her. And people would think that was weird. And I was like, nah, I would just rather not hurt your feelings. Me being true to myself might not be the truth that other motherfuckers want to deal with. Your truth is not everybody else's truth. So motherfuckers run around talking about I'm real. You sound stupid as shit. I know you're real. You're physical. But to be a real individual only states the reality that you know of self. So if you're living in a system of things, not knowing what you're capable of in a conscious reality, you're not real. You're a fucking clone. Reality only states the fact that you know your reality connection to the cosmos, because that's the reality of all. So then you can't come to me and not be cosmetic talking about you real. That shit is an oxymoron in itself. This is what I mean by understanding levels of consciousness. Like, you're gonna play with this shit for the rest of your life, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get high and I'm gonna tap in and see some colors, whoop de doo. No, that shit is tapping into showing you what you would see on a normal consciousness basis. If you would when I meditate, I see kaleidoscopes, bro, all the time. Fuck DMT. I mean, yeah, I took it, but it tapped me in. I'm not knocking it for nobody. You see what I'm saying? But I tap into that shit so much. When I meditate, I see shit all the fucking time. You see what I'm saying? When I meditate, I tap in. And I've done mushrooms, mescaline, fucking peyote, pude, fucking DMT. I did all that shit. And I traveled the world while doing it. Sages, salvias. I traveled doing this shit. I'm not knocking none of that shit because everything is natural. It was a natural experience that I had. And it's not a disrespect. But I got to a higher level of consciousness within meditating to where I can close my eyes and see motions. I can see waves and waters. I can pull in energy. I can meditate for 2 hours and feel like I can lift a car. Sometimes I meditate and I meditate so long that my calmness comes down over me, and when I open my eyes, everything is like a bluish gold color. You see what I'm saying? Every step is like I'm walking on air, and I can see things happening before it happened. I can feel energy so much. This is the meditation powers that we have privy to. Kundalini meditation, different from the rest. The Kundalini, see, listen, the Kundalini, it's not two different meditations. You start meditation to be aware that your Kundalini can access. See, when you start to meditate at first, in the beginning, you're trying to find the peace. You're trying to find that stillness, like if you were standing on still water. And what happens is before that even comes, you have to clear your mind. You have to like remove things like if you had problems with somebody or you're dealing with something on an everyday basis, deep down, see this shit you ain't, come to grips with, you gotta let all that shit go. And then we used to do something called I used to take Tai Chi. I took Tai Chi for 7 years. So I used to, with my instructor, we used to do medical Qigong. It's a meditation energy method. And what you do is you sit in certain positions and you're pulling in energy with body motions, pulling in cosmetic energy with body motions, and you're bringing it into your Dantian. Now, me doing this so long, I finally opened up the golden light. Hold on a second, bro. I got you. Give me a second. Um, I opened up the golden light. You know what I'm saying? And this was the first awareness that I can drop the negative thoughts out. That was telling me this is where you can drop your negative thoughts out and start cleaning up yourself. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know it was levels to this shit. You see what I'm saying? So I did that for a while, but I stopped doing it because after I hit the ceiling of that, I didn't know what else to do. I mean, and I would still slip back into negative pretenses. This is like when I'm 25, 26. I'll be 40 next year. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm still doing meditations, and when I hit my 30s, I kind of left it alone for a while because I was aware, but it was a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So I left it alone for a while. Coming back to it, in my mid 30s, I started meditating real hard, and then I started because it was what the next level was vibrations. It was meditations and then vibrations. Like after I hit the ceiling, I had to vibe through that level of ceiling. So I started instead of just regular meditation, I would and I would meditate with that vibe down into my dantian. It would be I can feel the vibration, no homo under my balls. I would feel it. Now I would do tones. I would go from higher to lower. That's beneficial for me. You know what I'm saying? And now I would rise up these scales with these tones. Yes, in layers. It's right. You know what I mean? So I would do these for a while, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I would choose just one vibration. You know what I'm saying? I would choose just one and let that vibrate through my whole body. Now, me sitting there in that one vibration, eventually, this is what started happening. I started feeling something go up I started feeling like a pressure, and it'd be going up my back like this. And it would stop. It would stop where I had my car accident at. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, my back would always hurt there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had a car accident like 4 years, or like 5 years ago. I had a car accident, something like that. You know what I mean? So it would always stop in that spot. So then I started, doing more stretches and meditations in the sun. I would put myself in the sun longer. Now the sun is like going through me. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm imagining that the sun is actually going through my body. And I would call on Shu when I get too hot. I would say, Shu, within this energy of the Most High. You have to cool me so I can continue. And I would feel a cool breeze come around. Now, be known to everybody else, I felt like my consciousness had power of the wind at that moment because I was able to call it whenever I wanted to through meditation. This is something personal that's going on with me in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, awareness of the elements. Then an elder told me, take off your shoes. Stop wearing your shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I would bury my feet at least 12 inches in the ground and cover them with dirt. I would go deep in the woods, take off all my clothes, and meditate butt naked in the sun. When the rising sun in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And I would do chants. And then I started feeling, dog, after this part, I started getting knowledge that I didn't have to open a book in. I would get knowledge that would just come in my head, and I never had to touch a book. And I can tell a person what was in the book. Butterflies will come and land on my arms. It'll be like 4 or 5 at a time on both arms. Dragonflies will come and be making hearts in front of me like this. This is known facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and then on top of that, I'm right, the frequencies of the sun. Like you can transmute that with the original cosmetic energy. So then on top of that, and people are witnessing this. People are witnessing this stuff around me. This is not like just me throwing up things that happen. No, people are seeing this and they're like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Yo, I stopped eating meats. I started eating all raw foods in this 7 year time of meditation. And I would be eating just in the morning, eat fresh fruits, drink pure water, alkaline water, and just sit in the sun for hours. You see what I'm saying? And it come out. I had a homeboy that used to stay like about a quarter mile down the road. He was very, very dark melanin brother. You know what I'm saying? Very, very melanated. And like really melanated. And I used to tell him, like, yo, man, you should be doing what I'm doing because the things you'll be able to do will be amazing. And he didn't believe me, right? So this one day I was meditating. He walked up on the porch, and I said, "You want to see?" And if I had him right now, he would tell you verbatim. I held his hands out like this, and I just got finished meditating. I took my hands, and I didn't touch him. I held him probably like 10 inches above, but I pushed his hands down without touching him. He can feel the weight of the solar energy. Like, yo, what is this? Why? And I was like, feel this. And I put my hand by his head like this. He started crying. Like tears rolled from both his eyes. Like he lost something. Like he lost the greatest thing in his life. And he was like, yo, and I was like, bro, it's all right. I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't mean to make you get like that. But you have to understand what solar energy is, what that cosmetic energy is. It is the gas for the soul. It is the original nourishment for the soul that you carry every day. And if you never feed your soul with the right process of giving it food, it's almost like a longing. Now, it doesn't have to eat, but if you feed it, it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to understand that both things have to be fed. You see what I'm saying? Now you can feed the flesh with propaganda, or I can feed the flesh with life and feed the soul with the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? And then when I access that, you start to be able to reverberate energies off of yourself. These are the vibes that come off the hands. These are the vibes you give off from your body. These are the energies that you give to people when you pick up something. You like, yo, what's that? I felt something, or shit don't feel right. That's how you intensify that. You see what I'm saying? So then after you felt that, you can sit still now and meditate more with a complete awareness of all the newfound consciousness things that you've been dealing with. So now here I am in the last 5 years with all of that awareness. Okay, I lost a very, very close family member in a tragic, violent death. And it almost made me lose my mind because of all the awarenesses I had. I was like, no, like I should have picked up on it. I should have been able to. But ultimately, if you guys heard me tell a story the other day about the giants that came in, that same night when I turned to a giant, I was fighting with the Orishas. That same night, I went into my studio and I felt so great about that energy. I got a call that my mom was in the hospital and she was going to die. There's no bullshit. It was like they said she had like triple strokes or whatever again. So, so me and my mom's we have like an up and down relationship. You know what I'm saying? So at this time I meditated. I didn't even care. I meditated, and when I meditated, I went to the studio. I sat down in the dark. I meditated, and I seen her in the bed. I seen her in the hospital bed, and I seen dark energies floating around her bed. It was like they almost looked like that shit off Harry Potter. Them shits with the that be flying around. It looked like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was smaller, and it was just flying around her bed, like waiting so they can snatch whatever they're gonna snatch. And when I came in, I did some Incredible Hulk shit. I was like, "What y'all doing in here?" Boom! And I clapped, and when I clapped, light came from my hands. and it parted everything out the room and it got bright. I'm getting goosebumps right now. If I'm lying, look at my arms. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm chickening up and it's all over. This is what happened right after I did that shit. Somebody called my phone within seconds and was like, "Yo, your mother just fine." I don't know what happened. It's nothing gonna happen to her. She's just fine. A cold air went over my body, and I was like, "Wow, this is the cosmos showing me the belief in action." The cosmos was showing me belief in action. You see what I'm saying? Now, whether people believe deeply on the levels of true spiritual energy or cosmetic connection, that's neither here or there for me. I can care less. I separated myself from believing in what the man said a long time ago because man deals in physical attributes. So most of the experiences that a man tells you, it comes from the physical way of him not seeing the whole picture. If you know fear is apartheid to having a life to be physical, then most of the things people see is blinded by fear. So when they write these stories with these extroverted situations in word terms to turn you to the way they see it, obviously they didn't see it with the right fucking eyes. I don't have to read deep into knowing that. I can hear the fear in your voice. If you at a club with somebody, or if you at a carnival, if you with your man and y'all hanging in the woods or y'all camping or whatever you is in life, if you at a basketball game and you and two of your homeboys see one of your mans about to get in a fight, but he's about to get in a fight with a that y'all know, you will look at both of them to see who's scared first. Tell me I'm lying. You will look at both of them and be like, yo, he got scared. You ain't really want to fight, and you're going to judge him off the fact of how he handled that situation. What separates that from consciousness? Oh, we just not going to talk about that, though, because it's small enough to use as far as manipulation and controlling people. So we're going to keep that as far as a reality, but we ain't going to talk about that as far as dealing with the cosmetic energy because you know what? That's facts. It's too much of facts. It's too much of reality. It's not even about if anybody's really feeling it. I feel me. When I go deep, I get goosebumps. I get the chills. My phone blacks out when I'm getting deep on knowledge. I see the energy around me that I'm projecting standing on. Now I'm standing on this facts. When I go in my everyday life, I act like this in my everyday life. I keep coppers on me all the time. I keep silvers. I made this. You see what I'm saying? I make most of the things I do. I create my existence. Even if I fall, I fail. I take responsibility for that. And I pull myself out of that. I will and I heal thyself. I can tell people so many things I've been dealing with that could have took my life over the last few years, but I have been healing myself. Well, my man, that. Let me see. If anybody, y'all, you know who this guy is? Y'all heard of him? It says Histonics. Do your own knowledge. Do your own knowledge. I have a nutrient of my own that I created out of learning from other people. These things don't just happen. This is synapses. Synapses is 2 points of two cells that get an electrical connection and they create something. So me and one of you wonderful people here can be building on some wonderful knowledge, on some, right, exactly, it is a weapon. But me and you wonderful people here can be dealing on some knowledge and we could be building with one another from here, from anywhere in the world, but have a connection, a synapses. Just because we're vibrating that positive euphoria of energy and we're sending it back and forth and we're transmuting these two energies, those energies are going to create magnetism. In between those two areas, it's going to give off a feeling of energy that's going to start propagating through that whole area. You might walk up on somebody and somebody may say to you, hey man, something about you, man, it's just cool. And you remind me of something we was talking about, and me and some friends, and you'll be like, y'all was talking about that? Energy does powerful things. Back in the day, used to be shit like people be rapping, and somebody in a whole nother state will say the same rhymes you said, but you don't even know them. You see what I'm saying? Like, or You will meet somebody that move just like you. I had a homeboy of mine. He'd be like, "Yo, I done met three dudes that's just like you, but this is my dog. This is my like one of my best friends. So he know my in and outs. You see what I'm saying? He like, yo, I met a dude that had the same dreads, same beard. Look, he moved like you had, bud. Everything was just like you. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? The universe does these things for us, depending on magnetism. Yes, the Black Sea oil was confirmation. Was real for me. Started dreaming and was current. Yo, I try to tell people, yo, if you fuck with the black seed oil, it makes your pineal swell. You know what I'm saying? And like the best thing about it, if you take black seed oil with the right omega-3 plants, like it's a man, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a plant that grows in the cracks of the sidewalks, right? Nobody don't even. This is like one of the most strongest, powerfulest plants in the world. You understand me? It grows in the cracks of sidewalks. It has like these little red stalks on them and these little teeny green leaves, and it might put out little tiny yellow flowers. But it's like it's a step-on plant, but it grows in the cracks. Get that shit. You hear me? If you can grow to take that to your house and grow it, get that shit. That shit got every single letter vitamin in it times 10. That shit got more omega 3s in it per serving than anything on the fucking planet. This shit got natural lithium in it. This shit got natural, yo, this shit is fucking powerful. The milk in it, yo, this shit tastes good. You can eat it with a salad. Look, I used to take the black seed oil and then bite like half of that shit off and go meditate. And when I used to meditate, I used to come out, my whole speech be off and everything, but my shit be bright, yo. Like birds are coming around me, lizards be running across my feet. You know what I'm saying? Everything just be loving me. Like the sun, and I've been noticing, and it's because I just said it just now. That's why I'm saying it. I've been noticing. Yeah, that's what it do. It swells your pineal gland. Akasha, yeah. You already. Acacia's Akasha. You already know. But what I was about to say just now. See, it took it. I was about to say something. They snapped like, no, not yet. Yo, I was about to get y'all that work just now. Yo, the plant, it's the I can't remember the name of the joint, yo, but the way it looks, it's very, very, very identical. You can't like not walk past it and not know what it is. The way it looks, it grows majority, right? It grows majority in the cracks of the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll find it or like on the side of a road, like on the side of a road next to a fence or next to like some water flow or something, or even just on the side of a street. But what it looks like, they grow flat. They don't get that big. They grow flat on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They grow flat on the ground. But it has like it's like a red vine, not really that long, but like each is in between each notch it grows off, but it's red. And they got like these little teeny green leaves on it. And you might see some that have like these yellow flowers. You know what I'm saying on them, but for the most part, they flat and they got like a pink vine or a red vine, and they got these little green leaves on them, and they kind of come off, and it's very small. They're very tiny. They just pop off on the side like, and they're very, very, very. It's like it's better than spinach. It's better than spinach as far as everything, as far as the vitamins that and you can eat it with a salad, all that. I mean, I'm saying you can make oil out of it. It's just something people don't use. It heals mad shit. Um, you can make natural. I've mixed it with CBD oil. It's great, great, great for people who have like tendonitis, shit like that. It works instantly. Muscle damage, all that. It works that minute. Like as soon as you mix it and you put it, it works. It strengthens all that shit. So I don't know. Like I stay aware of the natural shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me a long time ago, when you pull away from things that are natural, you forget your natural existence. You know what I'm saying? Got you, cola. Try got you. No, I haven't. I haven't even heard of that. But I've been dealing with I got an elder I deal with down in Atlanta. She's a wonderful queen. Like she is freaking awesome. Like one of the best superpowers I ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? She's a queen. She man, damn. She touched on everything, yo. Like she gets access to the deepest minerals around the world, like from the real monatomic golds, trace minerals, melanins, everything that you can get from plant life. She gets it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working on my own oil right now. Oh, word? Okay. Okay. I'm working on my own oils right now because I'm about to collabo these four oils, and I'm gonna see if these oils, me putting them together, will be the ultimate drop. You know what I'm saying? That opens up because the body's supposed to be more oil than water. People don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Like the balance is supposed to be a little more water, a little less water than oil because the oil is the like it's the secretion from the pineal gland. You know your brain when you bust a nut, it squeezes and that white liquid that comes out your nuts, no homo. You think that's nut. That's not sperm cells. That's actually brain fluid. And this is the reason why your child thinks like you. Readings. What do you mean readings? Like things to read or books to read, stuff like that. You know, my G. What I like to me personally, only time I read books, and this is just how I look at things. I don't knock nobody who read, but the only reason why I read books is to find out what people are lacking. That's why I read books. I don't read books for education no more, cause somebody else's perception can't teach me anything. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm learning the path of my life. Like how to, you know what I'm saying? Like you get to a certain level, you get to a certain level. Books, yeah. Like I read books just to find out what people don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start listening to the ego and you understand the contrast of what the ego does, and if you're listening to emotions and you understand the contrast of what emotion does, when you read somebody's stuff, you can tell that they are emotional. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that they're going through a physical experience while writing their books. You see what I'm saying? TVs and books are confirmed data found and beyond. Well, I mean, um, my grandfather passed away back when I was. I always had visions. I had visions since I was 4 years old. And my grandmother, she used to be able to see things around the corner. She's an original Indian. You know what I mean? So I always had visions. And my grandfather passed away. And when the day he died, he grabbed my arm, and I felt his energy coming to me. Now the very next day, I had a dream, and the dream was I was walking, and I was walking down on a like on it was like some trees, and we was coming out to this edge, but it had like a drop down that was like concrete, and had a ladder, and you walk down the ladder, and hold on, I'm gonna get to you. I got you, bro. I just want to make a point real quick. Um, and you come down the ladder and you get on to the dock. You know what I'm saying? And the dock was concrete. It was one tree, and it was like water swiveling around the tree like this. It was a bright, bright, wonderful glow of gold, sun energy off in the distance. I wanted to stay here. My grandfather said he didn't say a word. We got in the boat together and he pointed down. Now when he was pointing down, he was showing me square shapes, right? It was square shapes and they were all moving with the flow of the water, right? With what was on the square shapes was things that was happening in our everyday lives. Like, you see rape, you see gunshots, you see news, you see wars, you see all this shit. And it was just swirling around. And I was like, I don't want to go back down there. And he was like pointing down. And he wouldn't say nothing. He would just point down. And I would look. And then he would just stare at me. And I said, I don't want to go back there. And he would point down again. And he did this like 3 or 4 times until I got frustrated. And I was just like, all right, whatever. I just don't want to be there no more. I want to stay here. And he made me go back. And this is when I woke up. Now, I'm going to repeat this again. Everything physical in this world is not cosmetic, okay? And everybody has to get this whole space exploration shit out their mind because the cosmos is not what you think it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's TV. It's not what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? And the main reason why um your space exploration or your NASA and all these other fake motherfuckers talking about they went to space and they can't get up there and having problems is because they're not coated in melanin. The space outside of this dome is melanin. That's what's and it's thick. It's very thick. If you don't have a percentage of it, you can't go back to it. You can't go through it. You know what I'm saying? Apart with the melanin is water. You know what I'm saying? That helps the what you want to call that helps the synapses of the transgression, how it condensates to earth to give us our melanin. So that's what's above us. When they try to sell inanimate objects that have no life and no melanin and no reason to be going past the eye, okay, what happens to it? It destroys itself. It just burns up into existence. It's almost like what they want to talk about, the antimatter mixing with a piece of matter and it automatically destroys. Yes, nothing can go past it. Nothing. Everything that touches, it gets reflected back down like a magnet, like a repelled magnet. You know what I'm saying? And if it does break through that pressure by force, it burns the fuck up as soon as it gets there. So they've never went nowhere, sent nothing anywhere. Like I don't know, like people want to believe that they did that. That's not. It's a what they like to say emphatically non-cipher. It can't happen. You see what I'm saying? So this is the job: is to procure as much cosmetic melanin as you can to return to the conscious awareness. If you are only consciousness in a pineal gland and the flesh is what's holding you back from doing all that, what the fuck is your job? It ain't rocket science. It's you that want to do more shit that all these people making that has nothing to do with anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to debate with people on the aspect of trying to hold on to physical. I even had a friend of mine and they was like, I like living, I like life. I was like, that's good. You're supposed to like life. Enjoy the experience. But a crackhead likes smoking dope too. He just won't stop. That don't mean it's good for him. He might love that shit to death, but every time he smoke, gets skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. You feel me? Yo, how can people receive knowledge? Most people I'm around ain't about that life. And let me ask you something, bro. Something simple. Um, have you ever been in a situation when you just was without the needs or the wherewithal to do whatever you needed at the moment, but you really wanted it done? Like you just really wanted that shit done and nobody would physically help you, but then ultimately something happened to allow that to happen? Have you had that happen before? Just a question. If so, then that was all you. Okay, that was all you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what I mean by self discipline, self awareness, you know what I'm saying? Unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we have the ability to calm down the vibrational aspect of what we're focused on. So, whatever we focus on, we can calm it down to a simplicity of our pure energy and hit it with a beam of light. You see what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. Cause like, think about it. Most people be like, I gotta pay my bills. Okay, I got no money. You were supposed to pay me. And you go through all this shit. Next thing you know, you done wasted all the energy on talking about what you, or talking about the affliction of what happened, opposed to fixing the action. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we get trapped off and not using our cosmetic energy. You see what I'm saying? By letting the physical overtake the conscious reality. See, so like it's almost like y'all remember I got in a fight. There's no bullshit. I was 15 years old, yo, and I was fighting a dude. He's like 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I could always box though. You know what I'm saying? Like I got mad brothers, so we was always boxing. I'm nice off the heads, but they was like, yo, that nigga gonna whip your ass, cause whatever. So he about to fight. Every time he threw a punch, I would weave and stick him. Bing bang. You know what I'm saying? Weave. Now I'm smaller than him, so my punches ain't hurting, right? But I'm embarrassing the shit out of this dude. You know what I'm saying? He's grown. You know what I mean? I'm embarrassing him. And everybody like, oh shit, little dude can fight, right? I'm 15 years old. Now this shit was funny as hell. So, right, at this time, everybody forgot that I'm 15 because I'm damn near the dude height. We like the same height. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of tall for my age. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of the same height. You know what I mean? Right, yeah, so I'm throwing them things, you know what I'm saying? So I fucked around. I'm feeling my ego and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling my ego. Hold on. I'm feeling my ego, right? I'm feeling my ego, right? So then it's like I look back at my cousin. I'm like, smile at him and shit, like, yo, I'm whipping this nigga ass right now. You know what I'm saying? Well, I turn right, and nigga came with the punch, like, caught me in the chin, like boom. I was like, oh shit. So I'm going back this way. I ain't dropped though, but he caught me flush. It was like that. So I'm like, oh shit. So I look back and I look right back at my cousin. And he screamed my street name. He was like, yo, no, no, whatever, right? So I just smiled and I came out with a two piece, bing, bing, on the same shit. He dropped, sat on him. So I give him that business. I could have took that same energy of that punch he did and gave up the fight. See what I'm saying? I could have gave it up right then. I could have said, "Oh shit, he hit me. I was young." He could have rushed on, and in my mind, I had already won the fight before the fight was even over. You see what I'm saying? I had beat him the first 5 minutes. I had already whipped his ass, so everything else was cash for me. That was just profit. You see what I'm saying? I had already beat him in my mind as a kid. And this is why they tell you the kid's mind have the powerfulest creation tool because they don't let go of what they hold on. Think about it when you're talking to a kid. They want something, they're going to keep asking you till they get that shit. Now, the difference in between us fucking up the kids and our reality for what we need to use that conscious value on is they teach the kids to want shit of inanimate objects to put their consciousness on that. Thus, the children build a future. You show the kids games, colors, candy, all this. You know what they thinking tomorrow? Ooh, I can't wait for the next one to come out. Ooh. So in their mind, they go to sleep. They're dreaming that. They're dreaming that in that world, and they're bringing it into reality. We start losing that because you know why? Your ass ain't working the jobs that they need for a motherfucker to keep their reality going. Thus, this is the problem for a government. They need to come in and turn that workers aspect into usurp for the energy of the creation to create a false reality. That's what we living in. Now, if we can back the conscious reality by the false thoughts, then we teach the kids to think celestial. See, missed the point though. Because you're gonna leave here, go cut your TV on, jump in that whip, put them fly gears on, get that twerking bitch, pop that music in, everything that has nothing to do with who the fuck you really is. Thus, the same analogy, the fish wanting to play basketball. You swim. The fuck is you doing? And you dried out in the street, you wonder why shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? I don't never ask questions on why things happen no more. I'm just like, yo, it is what it is. It's something, it's a lane you turn down the wrong street and you just miss that shit. You see what I'm saying? And because these conscious awareness happens all the time, we will never be satisfied in life. And the reason why you're frustrated is not because of the situation that didn't work right, it's because you didn't satisfy the conscious awareness, thus you put into the energy that you was trying to create. Keep it 100 with yourself. Take responsibility. And this is what I mean by people can't take responsibility because they don't fucking know what's going on. You lie consciously and don't know that you're lying about yourself. You go every day talking some nonsense and it has nothing to do with who the fuck you are and your principle and what is your whole fucking makeup. A person who detail cars know how to detail that shit. A mechanic know how to fix it. A doctor does that. Like, you supposed to be about you. Nobody should tell you more about you than yourself. That's ill. Like, you know what I'm saying? And think about it. You go on TV for Dr. Phil, fucking remember Ricky Lake and all the dumb shit used to come on back and like that's what. See, it was outward thinking. It was a way to pull everybody from the inside outward. Your grandparents was the calmest, stillest motherfuckers in the world. They had that. Why you, hey, can I, who, hey, grandma, mama, They had that. They was inside because they knew exactly who you were. Because they created you. This is our great-grandparents. See, that's why they said Big Mama did. The alpha males did. That's what they talking about when they say shit like that. And people don't even understand this premise because you are so far removed from consciousness. Only thing a fucking young 20-year-old or 25-year-old chick is worried about is selling her fucking pussy to get a couple dollars. Only thing a fucking young dude out here is worried about is if 1,000 motherfuckers like him and if he can get high enough to show everybody. You mean to tell me that's the conscious and awareness that we at? And amongst with all that non-conscious awareness, you track everything that's inanimate. So what? You got houses, cars, and all that shit. You don't know shit about yourself. You as inanimate as the motherfucking you as inanimate as the fucking the mannequin sitting in the store wearing the clothes with nobody talking to it. It's just a mannequin. That's you. But you get a chance to move around in life feeling you real with all the fake shit. There's no separation. You see what I'm saying? There is no degrees of separation in reality. This shit is contrast. And if I could take contrast and look at the simplicity of how to deal with individuals, then I could take contrast and look at the simplicity of control. I could take the same contrast and find out how it's so easy that motherfuckers is control. Don't ask me why the fuck we oppressed. That's the dumbest question in the world. You gonna go get a Coca-Cola right after that question. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, get on my DC Young Fly shit. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be on some. I'm like, yo, are you really conscious and aware? Or are you just blabbing out shit? Do you really feel what your life is going through? Are you watching yourself? Or are you just talking to get attention? You see what I'm saying? Most people say shit and don't say nothing. You see what I'm saying? You want to be seen as somebody who can do something. Well, that means you have a lesser value in self. You need to wake up your consciousness inside of you. Pat yourself on the back. Nobody out here gives a fuck really at the end of the day, so you have to give a fuck about yourself. Me doing this is not for attention. This is me to wake other motherfuckers up. It's lonely knowing truth. The reality shit, especially my own, I be like, damn, I'm my worst enemy. I'll fight myself, be like, nah, bro, don't do that shit. You know damn well that shit probably got something in it. I do that shit real fast, and I'll sit down and I'll be like, nah, I'm good. You got to be the same way. Or you can go into the world, and the world has a lot to offer. And some people say, yo, you crazy if you ain't up on the new changes. Well, all that shit is inanimate. For me to agree with that means I'm attaching myself to everything that has nothing to do with life. So if I gotta die to leave this because I'm a part of life, then I already made my decision. I'm just waiting for my ticket to punch. I don't want to be a part of that fake shit. Y'all can have that. I came in this bitch on breath. In reality. So consciously, I'm going back home. I'm not going to take my conscience and connect it to something that's inanimate. And everybody's doing this. We do this shit right now with this. I don't got no other social medias. I don't want none. I do this because I can put my face right here. You can see me. We can vibe just like this. I remember when we was young, we used to be like, yo, I wish phones had videos. We could talk to each other like that. We spoke that into existence. I don't give a fuck what company did that shit. They making all that fucking money off that shit. We spoke that shit into fucking existence. Yeah, it makes you a hermit, but even then, you have to seek the middle way. Well, as far as being a hermit, I, I I've done that. I've done that a few different ways, and solitude is the best way to find self because you have to find the deeper. Like sometimes when you're so far away from yourself, your light is small. You know what I'm saying? Right. Homeschooling is dope. I think homeschooling is the best thing in the world because you keep the bond with your children. Your children are getting taught by other motherfuckers that don't have no motherfucking clue about their characteristics and where they came from. And they're controlling them and they're being the new authority in their life 8 hours of a day. So I don't give a fuck about curriculum. You taking what I created and you're indoctrinated into the way you see things, whether you're emotional that day or whatever you're dealing with your life. I don't want you to be my child parent. That's enough for me. I don't give a fuck what you teaching. I can teach that. I know what it takes to live every fucking day. I can sit down and unconditionally love my child. Schooling is something completely different. And when they talk about school, I don't like how they separate. I don't like how they separate two probabilities that have two things that don't have nothing to do with each other. You give all this authority to a woman that doesn't give a fuck about this child, but you want this child to respect this. That sounds like a whole nother way of indoctrination to me. I didn't like school then, and I was always intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Like the teachers be like, yo, he's bored. He don't want to listen to us because you wasn't talking about nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather fail all your homeworks and ace your test to make you feel stupid. Oh, he don't pay attention. He don't turn. No, I don't turn on that bullshit. This shit is boring. But watch I ace your test real quick. You see what I'm saying? My mom be like, why don't you just focus? I'll be like, for what? It's boring. I need more. I'm a kid. Who's gonna sit down and realize that the children are important. Their characteristics are important. Their imagination is important. You create a child within a creation. Even when you sit down, you make dinner. You say, I'm gonna make this for dinner, right? So you put your love in it to feed whoever. If in the middle of that food, you stop caring about what you making, that shit gonna come out nasty. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna come out nasty. That's just how the shit works. You see what I'm saying? You have to keep your full attention on everything you create in order to have a great outcome. You see what I'm saying? Even if you mess up in the process, I didn't have a great relationship with my family, but I would have rather my mother be overprotective. I would have rather her been super overprotective than just to let us be. You see what I'm saying? Because it fucked me up in a lot of ways to where I never trust certain people again. You see what I'm saying? And I have to put my trust on me. And then now I'm stripping that shit slowly. Like, yo, you alright, you can get through that. But for a long time, I respect what? I punch you in your mouth first. Take me to jail type shit. You know what I'm saying? I was a fucking idiot. And that shit was never fucking cool at all. I was a liability to friends. I was the first person somebody would lie on. You see what I'm saying? You become privy to everything negative that goes with those characteristic traits. So I had to understand the difference. Like, damn, hold up. Yeah, I'm fighting to protect myself, but ultimately, this is not how you do it shit. You don't gotta just fight. I'm saying sometimes there's other ways of handling the win. You see what I'm saying? And that's ultimately how it goes down. When it comes to your children, I think they're way more important than any. And see, when you walk that cosmic shit and you walk in that shit and you live in that shit, you're not privy to the authorities that's around you neither. Self starts to give you a stronger array of energy. So now, yeah, they may say, well, so and so ain't coming here. Go deeper. Pull more ancestors in. Go harder and watch them disappear. Watch them don't have time to access you. Watch so much more things fall on their plate to where they just can't look at you right now. By the time they get around to getting you whatever you needed is completed. They grown or whatever. You going about your business. Tactics to keep my queen grounded in what I teach her home. Respect. Yo, and you see, you know what? That's powerful because most people don't reach out to their significant other, you know what I'm saying, as far as when they're learning the knowledge. They kind of keep it to themselves. Since you have a queen, and this right here is where you can gain your power at by giving her the floor. Allow her to take the knowledge you learn and learn more than you. Let her do it. You can't do this shit. You ain't ready for this work, girl. You know what I'm saying? And let her do it. And then when she sits down, she gonna start studying what you study. Now she gotta run back and tell you something. Let her teach you. Let her and watch her run up 4 floors past you. Love it. Love it when she get 5 floors past you. Be like, yo, that's dope. My girl up there. Ah, shit. And then let her teach you. And then you get to work. And then trade off with her. Go take that knowledge from her, trade off. And y'all both keep throwing each other up higher and pulling each other up. Throwing higher, pull up. You throw her, she pull you. Right? She throw you, you pull her, right? Next thing you know, y'all standing on the earth like, I know what everybody doing. It's nothing. You might fuck around end up in Brazil somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like on some whole other shit. Referring to my queen as my daughter. Oh yeah. All right, respect. Yeah, and that too. Well, you know what? That's even more. That's your princess. It's not your queen, because your queen would be your significant, but you know what I'm saying? Your princess is your creation. I can't tell you how to say it, but I feel you though. But at the same time, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, T. As in female T. Respect to you. And that's even better because she needs to learn from start. You know what I'm saying? Anything that she gains in integrity, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, she's gonna carry over in the future. You know what I'm saying? And we grew up not having that, you know what I'm saying? Like life into her early respect. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it should start from the base. It should start from home because I do remember most of the things when my mother was strong mentally and she was on some kind of dynamic shit. I remember the strong things she taught us. When she started slipping is when I let everything go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but from now that I'm older, And certain things that I want to find or I want to do in life, I hear it in my head. You know what I'm saying? These are things that stick with me because they were powerful. So I would really charge all of our people originally to have a deeper connection and a deeper overprotection of your children and instill hard traits in them to even if it hurts, that pressure is going to make them a diamond when they get older. You see what I'm saying? And when they get older, they'll be like, you know what? I remember everything. I know what to do because it was branded in me. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you take that away by allowing them to be grown early, they'll never know shit. I believe that as far as the conscious awareness, because it gives the parents the power to understand that they did the right thing. It's like a give back. It's like, all right, I see my energy worked. You see what I'm saying? I think that's a beautiful thing. Like you won't be the type of parent walking around saying I did my best. We didn't know. You won't be making excuses. You see what I'm saying? You'll say, I know my best work because I put my best in. It's different when you want people to believe you did your best, but you didn't do your best by the actions of your work. You see what I'm saying? The actions of your work is going to show you by what you put into it. So you can't be pointing a finger later. Like it was crazy because I was telling her, I'm not going to speak on my family member because I love her, but we had a conversation a long time ago, and I told her, she was saying how she would tell her kids that she did everything she can for them to keep food on the table. Just those words. I did everything I could to keep food on the table, whatever I got to for my kids. And females say that a lot. But I said the oxy, the the misinformation of that is the fact that you are teaching them to do whatever it takes. So whatever that means in your time, it means different today. What and it probably is similar, but what that heaviness was then, it's 10 times heavier now. To where you might have started prostituting a different time, or might not have did it. You might have just fucked somebody for some money or for a job or something. Now they fucking every day, and they like, no, this is what I'm doing to take care of my kids. I'm doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Or your kid, your son robbing banks or something because he felt his mother did whatever she had to do. You know what I'm saying? Or like we have to teach them in correctity. And like even today, I talk to a lot of adults, and they still talk like they 12, or they like their mentality is like they 12. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't. Shit. Look at that pussy. Look at that ass. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, damn, yo, you don't have no regard for yourself, or don't even want to. You know what I'm saying? Like to be. And then I started thinking, like, you know what? Maybe that's what's lacking, the contrast. Some people still dealing with that because they never had to see the other side. So like, even if you dealing in so much negativity, you can be so immersed in that shit. That's your everyday living. So stepping out of that is shocking. Like y'all don't fuck up shit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all don't think like that. Some people may think like that. You got some people who are killers that just think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at gang members. That's how they think. This is what it is. 7 times 7 curse, like growth of Magnus, growth of madness. 7 times 7. It's not a curse though. It depends on how you look at it. Everything has contrast, bro. You know what I'm saying? It has contrast. You have to know that. You can meditate 7 minutes, 7 hours, 7 days, and get a wonderful benefit. You know what I'm saying? You can do that and triple that 7 times 7 times 7. 7 months, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years, and watch what happens. Try doing that with fasting and watch what happens. You see what I'm saying? You can do repetitions of meditations times 7. 7 is not it's not a curse. It's not a such thing as a curse. You curse yourself by your belief. And that's all it is. You curse yourself by your belief. But you saying that just now was a curse. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like that, just like aggravating a chick to the point where you know what I'm saying, like, yo, bitch, you ain't shit. And then she like, well, if you don't think I'm shit, I'm up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers is bossy to that point. You know what I'm saying? Look at the same retrospect of parents who rule their children. By the time they go, them children out there trying to rule somebody else and don't give a fuck about where they came from. You know what I'm saying? Like this is every action has a reaction, and every fucking situation has a consequence, and you got to fucking take responsibility for that. You know what I'm saying? At some point, and people who don't, what it says, people who God in captivity get put in captivity. You know what I'm saying? So like, You have to be mindful of the knowledge you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You have to be mindful of the things you say. You know what I'm saying? And be courageous in your righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Three rules I live by. You know what I'm saying? I try to live righteously. I try to point out righteous when I see it, and I protect righteous things. You see what I'm saying? That's for me, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna falter. That's the physical altercation. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you have to stay there. You just have to learn to notice. Back to self awareness. You see what I'm saying? So self awareness, you know what I'm saying? Self discipline and unconditional love of self will allow you to be the best person you can for everything in your circumference and everybody around you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the most one of the wonderfulest thing about it, because indoctrination, you have your own indoctrination in your life expectancy. How much do you know it? You see what I'm saying? How much do you know your own religion that you have with you every day? You see what I'm saying? You are your own Christ. It's at your top chakra. Circle gets a square. Turn that square into a circle. Start spinning that knowledge and rising up. Oh, peace, Queen. You already. Salute. Already. Y'all holla at Queen, man. Especially AOT, holla at Queen. She makes female clothes, man, of original quality, and they're very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she could hook you up with something nice. You already. Um, but yeah, we are living our own indoctrination every day. And we're steady looking outside of ourselves to fix the problem that nobody around you has. Like you deal with this shit every day. So it's time to sit still. It's time to look at self. It's time to hug self. It's time to realize self has been with you. It's time to realize source has been powering you. You see what I'm saying? That's my main focus, self-awareness and God within. That's right. And soon as you find respect for the cosmos, the most high outside, you will notice that it's always been with you. This is why there's levels of the religion. So there's no disrespect to nothing. There is only stairwells that we should keep going up. Okay? With that being said, I love all of you. Know I love myself. You know what I'm saying? Even when I fuck up, you gotta, pat yourself on your back, pick yourself up. Whatever you're going through, don't beat yourself up too much. And try to stay righteous. Is all we got. All right? You guys hold it down. Stay focused. Everything gonna be all right. Peace.